Again, next game of the day coming up, a 4 o'clock scheduled start, but that will be much later than that. Probably about a half hour after this one ends. All Western battle, BC and Saskatchewan. The Souk Loggers and the Saskatoon Diamondbacks. One and two coming up on Archibald. Swung on high and playable for the second baseman, Lebrec. He'll make the catch. Brian Gillis, the DP, popped out to the second baseman back in the second.
Now batting for Team Nova Scotia, the designated player, number 13, Brian Gillis.
Gillis 0 for 1 for the tournament. Here comes Schweier. Swinging and missing on the first pitch is Gillis. Well, this is a sought-after luxury for Schweier this week. Out there pitching with a lead. 0-2. A possible momentum-building game here for Quebec. Also with the win, they would tie Nova Scotia in the standings at 1-2. Strike three. Out is Gillis. A nasty 1-2 pitch.
Team Nova Scotia,
Couldn't catch up.
Number 53, Tyler Wynot.
4 strikeouts for Schweier. There's Tyler Wynot. Lined out to the third baseman in his first at bat. Pop fly to the shortstop should be no problem for Lessard. It is not. And that'll do it for Nova Scotia.
Team Nova Scotia scored no runs on no hits. There were no errors in the field, and there were no runners left on base. Ladies and gentlemen,
1-2-3 goes Nova Scotia in the fourth.
Will be fun. You're right. Not only does umpiring offer fantastic personal rewards, but umpires, hey, they have the best view of the game guaranteed. Visit www.softball.ca or contact your provincial or territorial association to learn more about becoming an umpire.
So a close game blown open last inning by Quebec. Again, they sent 13 men to the plate. 7 runs on 4 hits. Just the one error. The one big hit, a solo shot home run by Matt Greer.
Is number 22, Randy Frame. He'll be pitching. Now batting for Team Quebec. Maintenant battant pour l'équipe du Québec. The catcher, le receveur, number 25, numéro 25, Joe McCleary.
Here's Joe McCleary. He'll be the first one to face Randy Frayne into the game for Nova Scotia. Just off the plate, 0-1. So Randy Frayne into the game here in the bottom of the fourth. McCleary, Darvaux, and Lessard to the backstop, 1-1.
Still good? Still good?
I gotta remember B. McLean Sports on Twitter, community1sports@gmail.com to reach out to us. Comments, feedback, shout outs, let us know where you're watching from. Time called. A little dust in the eye there at McCleary. Just before the inning started, the wind really picked up and blew the dust from first to third. Just on the outside. Fouled off again.
Just so I can get something else going up there right away.
Good cloud cover in the area now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The wind has picked up. Out in front. And striking out is McCleary.
Now batting for Team Quebec. Maintenant battant pour l'équipe du Québec. Playing in the outfield, le voltigeur number 27, numéro 27, Jonathan Darvaux.
So McCleary out on strikes, and here's John Darvaux. He struck out twice so far. Give him a hit. 1 for 3 will be Darvaux. A double at least as he rounds first and heads to second, and he'll stand up there. So John Darvaux now batting 2 for 6 with the double in the tournament. So Darvaux at second in an 8-2 game.
Now batting for Team Quebec. Maintenant battant pour l'équipe du Québec. Le shortstop, Lara Cook, number 28, numéro 28, Mathieu Lessard.
Here's Matthew Lessard. Matthew grounded back to the pitcher and singled and scored a run in that big inning in the third. Another interesting note about that rally from the third. Sometimes it's happening so fast you don't even realize it. Mentioned the 13 men to the plate, the hits and what have you. But almost all of that damage came with 2 outs in the inning. 6 of the runs with 2 outs. And 6 straight men came to the plate. And there for a ball, 2-0. The 2-0 from Frayne. Swung on and fouled out of play on the first base side. That'll get to the parking lot over there. They'll do the 2-1 again. So again, the clouds have rolled in. The wind is blowing from right to left on your screen. Probably gusting up to about 30, 35 kilometers an hour. Lessard with a runner at second base. Up high, 3-1. So a hitter's count for Lessard. First base is open. Sam Lebrec to follow. Back to the top of the order after Lebrec. Outside and down to first will go Lessard. And now here's Lebrec with runners at second and first.
Now batting for Team Quebec. Maintenant battant pour l'équipe du Québec. Playing second base, au deuxième but. Number 9, numéro 9, Samuel Lebrec.
So Lebrec flew out to center field and then had a 3-run triple, and that was the big one. 2 outs. A 2-2 game at the time. And Lebrec came up and hit that, actually 3-2. But Lebrec came up and hit that RBI, 3 RBI triple that really blew this one open. That's been the hit that Quebec's just been waiting for. And you can see after the hit, he went into third, and the Quebec players and coaches just jubilant on the sideline. They finally broke through. 1-1. Randy Frame. Swinging and missing is Lebrec. And now if you're Nova Scotia, you start to worry about that mercy rule run. Right now, it is at second base. Off the plate, 2-2. Mark Patterson on Twitter. Thank you very much, Mark Patterson. From Dartmouth, heavily involved with the Moosehead Dry baseball team. One of the great supporters of the Senior League and does a lot of stuff at the administration level there with the Moosehead Dry, including their PA announcer. Checking out the action. 3-2. Swung on and just fouled on the first base side. They'll do it again. Lebrec comes to the plate. 2 for 4 in the tournament. Do the 3-2 again from Randy Frame. Foul over the backstop out of play. The 3-2. Inside. Bases are loaded.
Now batting for Team Quebec. Maintenant battant pour l'équipe du Québec. Playing in the outfield, le voltigeur. Number 16, numéro 16, Mathieu Roy.
So Darvaux at third, Lessard at second, Lebrec at first. And here's a guy you don't want at the plate. This is Mathieu Roy. You just can't keep this dude off the plate or off the base. He's reached first base 8 times in 10 appearances. I mentioned I was talking to Chris Abbott at the start of the tournament before I was doing the Quebec game, and he mentioned that this could be one of the best players in the country right here. Looks at ball 1. So far today, he has a single, stole a base, scored a run, flew out to center field, then walked and scored a run in the third. In there for a ball, 2-0. There's nowhere to put him. So he's going to have a pitch to probably look at here on 2-0. We'll see if he looks to get one to drive or if he waits to see if Frame can throw a strike. 3-0. Frame a pitch away from walking in the 9th run of the game. Here comes your 3-0. He will. Walks Roy on 4 pitches. 9-2 as John Darvaux trots home. And timeout is called. They're going to talk things over at the mound. So Lessard to third. Lebrec to second. Roy to first.
Quebec, playing third base, au troisième but. Number 22, numéro 22, Matt Greer.
Nine to 2 for Quebec. In there for a strike, 0-1. This is Matt Greer. Of course, Greer had the solo shot back in the third. And reached on an error. Actually, I think that was given a hit to Greer. We had to wait on that one. No, that was an error. And he reached and was stranded at third. 2-1. High into the air. That might get them the second out at least. Infield fly rule in effect. So there's your second out to Matt
Now
Greer.
batting for Team Quebec. Maintenant battant pour l'équipe du Québec. Playing first base, au premier but, number 42, numéro 42, Steve Savard.
Here's Steve Savard. And Steve's had a busy day. Scored a run after a single, or drove in a run back in the first on an RBI single. Singled and scored, and walked and was stranded at second. So he's reached 3 times, has an RBI, 2 for 2. The 0-1. Swings and misses at an inside drop ball. And now 0-2. Frayne a strike away from getting out of it. Just the 1 run allowed. Hit to left field. Roaming over there is Why Not in foul ground. Makes the catch, and that'll do it for Quebec in the fourth. But they send 7 men to the plate, and they score a run. On 1 hit, 3 walks in the inning. No errors.
Team Quebec scored 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 3 runners were left
And
on
3
base.
left on base.
L'équipe du Québec a marqué 1 point avec une coupe sourde. Il y avait 0 erreur et 3 à gauche sur le sentier. At the end of 4 complete innings, Team Quebec leads the game by a score of 9-2. Après 4 manches complétées, l'équipe du Québec mène 9-2.
So we'll go to the 5th inning. A 9-2 lead, and obviously Nova Scotia here, as we enter the 5th, will need to score at least 1 run to avoid the mercy rule. 7 runs once you enter the 5th. And they're having a hard time lately trying to figure out Rob Schweier. They scored 2 runs in the first, but Schweier hasn't given up a run since 2 outs in the first. He's retired 9 of the last 11 men he's faced. He's only allowed 1 hit through 3 innings. Matt Anthony coming up.
For Team Nova Scotia. Out of the game goes number 24, Aaron Harvey, and into the game, number 55, Matt Anthony.
So Matt Anthony into the game to bat for Aaron Harvey. Pitch high, 0-1 or 1-0. Anthony, and then back to the top of the order with Ben Weidman and Joel Langford. Unable to hold back is Anthony, 1-1. Quebec, not much time after this. If they hold on here, they got to get right back on the field. A 6:30 scheduled start against the host team, PEI. In there for a strike. You Fawcett's are probably out there watching, getting ready for that 6:30 start, checking out this Quebec team. Chances are good you're going to see the man on the mound is who you'll be looking at, Rob Schweier. He's pitched every inning so far for Quebec. Through 3 games. Now out there pitching his 18th inning. The The 1-2. Off the plate, 2-2. Here comes Schweier with the 2-2. In there, called strike 3 on the outside portion. Anthony out on strikes looking. 1 out in the inning.
Now batting for Team Nova Scotia, the outfielder, number 4, Ben Weidman.
Here's Ben Weidman. Ben reached on an error back in the first and popped out to the catcher back in the third. In there for a ball, 1-0. That is into left field and over the head of the left fielder, Waugh. And a hold up at second. Will Weidman. So Weidman is double
For Team Nova Scotia,
on a blast
shortstop,
over the head of
number
Waugh.
2, Joel Langford.
Now here's Joel Langford. Langford's had a good day. A double and a single. Scored a run and was stranded at third after the double. Base hit here helps Nova Scotia avoid the mercy rule. Jay Duffy to follow. Here comes the 1-0. Off the plate, 2-0. Action going on, as mentioned, over there in Newfoundland. They got a 2-1 game, looks like right now. They're rolling over there in that field. In the fourth inning already. That was a 3 o'clock start. A 2-1 coming up on Langford. Swings at a high strike, 2-2. Couldn't catch up. Schweier evens the count at 2. The 2-2. Change up high, and holding off is Langford. And we'll go to a full count. The 3-2. Runner at second. Strike 3 called, or not called, swinging, sorry, is Langford.
Now batting for Team Nova Scotia, the second baseman, number 47, Jay Duffy.
So Langford out on strike. Schweier now has 6 for the game, 6 strikeouts. And here is Jay Duffy. Nova Scotia down to their final out. Duffy has struck out twice. Misses here. 0-1. Cases finishes here. Remember, BC and Saskatchewan coming up next. Usually about 20 to 25 minutes after the end of each game. They start the next one. 1-1. Quebec looking to get off the schneid. Get in the win column. On day 2, 1-1. Inside, 2-1. You know, they'd love to end it right now, get back to the hotel, get rested up for their 6:30 game. The 2-1. And they're down to their final strike are the Mastadons of East Hants. 2-2. Joel Eisner, sorry, is on deck. The 2-2. Woo, just off the plate, and Schweier thought he had the pitch. 3-2. So they'll go to a full count. First base is open. Weidman at second. High into the air. Out for right field. Darvo makes the basket catch. It popped out of his glove, but he held on to it off the bounce. What a way to end this one. A long way to come. That was a difficult catch. Made it basket style. It popped out for a split second. Managed to stick with it. And that'll do it. Mercy rule in effect. Duffy on the fly out to left field. 9-2.
No runs on one hit.
Quebec
No errors
over Nova
there
Scotia.
was one player left on base. If we can get both teams to line up on their respective baselines, it is time to present the Players of the Game award. C'est maintenant le temps de présenter les joueurs de match. I'm going to call upon Mr. Dave
Players
Whistler,
of the game coming up.
the head groundskeeper here at Central Field number 1, who's waiting out there at the pitcher's mound, to present today's Player of the Game's awards. For Team Nova Scotia, the Player of the Game goes to number 44, Joel Eisner.
Joel Eisner, player of the game.
And for Team Quebec,
For Nova Scotia.
l'équipe du Québec, number 42, numéro 42, Steve Savard.
And Steve Savard, the player of the game. For Quebec. Savard, what a day he
A
had.
reminder, ladies and
3 for
gentlemen,
4.
that competition continues here today at the
2 singles
2014 Senior
and a walk.
Master Men's Fastpitch Championship.
Well, friends, that does it. You've been watching a presentation of Bell Line Community One, your leader in local sports webcasting in Atlantic, Canada. The 2014 Canadian Senior Fastpitch Championships. The final score here in our second game of the day from Field 1. Quebec 9 and Nova Scotia 2. Coming up is BC and Saskatchewan. We'll see you in a few minutes, but for now, goodbye from Charlottetown.